Hey, welcome to day 95 of my spiritual journal. I will be journaling with you daily on the Soul Legacy TV. So welcome if you are new to me. Grab something to write with, grab a journal if you don't have one. And if you are not new to me, then welcome back. So we are going to be journaling about freedom in your lifestyle, freedom in your light work, and in your spiritual business. So on the SoulLegacyTV, I talk about using my daily spiritual journal to journal out my business, to journal out what I want to experience in my life, to journal out having more freedom on every single level, every single area of my life. So every day I come live with my own journal. And today it is, I'm wearing my green t-shirt, it is Environmental Freedom Thursdays in my world. What I do with my spiritual journal on a daily basis, hey love, good morning Robin. So what I do with my spiritual journal on a daily basis is journal about each area of my life. I've actually broken my life down into 7 areas. So every single day on the Soul Legacy TV, in the spiritual journal, I journal a specific area that's going to support me in my light work and lifestyle. And I call it the Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency for intentional living. So on Mondays, I talk about contribution freedom. So we journal daily in our spiritual journal for that. And then health freedom, we use our daily journal for that. Emotional freedom, use our daily journal for that. So every single week when you come back, you've got that daily journal to actually look back towards and see how you're progressing on your spiritual journey. What is next? Health freedom, emotional freedom, Wednesdays, that was yesterday. Today is environmental freedom, anything that is to do with your environment around you. Your environment starts in here, and I'm going to talk about that a lot. And then on Fridays, we use our daily journal for relationships. On Saturdays, we use our daily journal for spiritual freedom. And on Sundays, we use our daily journal for financial freedom. So today is environmental freedom. So welcome Robin. Robin is our lead soul guided instructor for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. Daily. I've not got it down. A daily journal. Daily spiritual journal actually is what I want to actually say, but it's not flowing. Or spiritual journal daily, right? Daily. So we journal daily. So Robin is our lead soul guided instructor. So Robin's joking with me if you can't see Robin saying daily, because I want to stress that is daily and it is live. And Robin has a daily journal as well. And on the Energy Healing TV. Jennifer is messaging me on Messenger. So thank you, Jennifer. If she watches on the replay, I don't know if she's be working. But Robin has her daily journal as well. She uses a spiritual journal to journal about energy, and Robin calls her daily journaling practice the 7 energies. She journals through the chakras and uses chakra prompts, journaling prompts, to journal each day throughout the chakras. So if you love working with the chakras, you know about energy, you know that we are energy, and you have any blocks to clear, then Robin actually explains her 7 energies process to be the best you and to support you in your daily journaling. And that's like the ultimate for me spiritual daily journal, because and daily journaling practice, because we are energy. I support you in using your spiritual journal to create rituals and routines that support you on a daily basis to have that spiritual business success and to have the vision of that and the vibration of that. However, when we do set a vision in our life, if you've gone through any kind of spiritual awakening and you want your life to look a little bit different, then usually there's blocks to clear. There's a lot of blocks. There's a lot of energy that shifts and moves as you come to a realization that on a day-to-day basis, your life doesn't look and feel the way that you really want it to. And I'm going to talk about that a lot today. I'm going to talk about my spiritual awakening, my spiritual ascension, and my spiritual alchemy, because every single life that I touch with this spiritual journaling and practice is like a humbling experience. I've heard people say, oh my gosh, this, oh my gosh, that. So I'm going to talk about that today as well. So Robin, I appreciate what you do. So if you're not subscribed to Robin Knott's Energy TV Energy Healing TV YouTube podcast, then definitely subscribe. So she'll walk you through, and a follow on as our lead soul guided instructor, a follow on to, you know, what gets in the way of you actually manifesting the vision that you have for more freedom in your life, and what gets what values you have, and what beliefs that you have, and what stories that you're telling. So we do really dive deep on this journaling practice, and it helps to do journaling on a daily basis, as I believe, and it shifts our mind. So Robin says, thank you for the shout out. You're welcome, love. And Robin's done her rating for today, and I'm going to do the rating as we do our spiritual journal. Every single day we do a rating. So part of the spiritual journaling practice is using a quick reference to see how you're feeling, and what your vibration is and where your energy is at. And I think it's a beautiful way, and I'm kind of leaning into the camera because I feel really far away today, but I will talk about the journaling and the process and the format, and give you some ideas about what you want to put in your journal if you are new to me. And if you're not new to me, you'll know that we'll dive deep into using our spiritual journal for our daily gratitude, and I'll pull a card and all the things. I've got a format that I follow, but I just feel that using our journal, I know that people are searching for something that gives some sense of relief on a daily basis. And I believe that using a journal is a really great way. So before I dive into the ratings, Robin, I'll come to the rating, how we think and how we feel. So thank you for that. And I'm super happy that your environmental freedom is an 11. That's amazing. I will do that in a second. What I want to do is give you the quote for today. I usually use my spiritual journal to log a quote every single day, which I find on my Momentum app. Every single day when I go into my office, I open my laptop, my Mac laptop, and I've downloaded a free Momentum app. That's where I get my spiritual journals, my spiritual quotes for the day, and use that for my journaling. And I share it, and every single day it just gives me like an extra boost to think about the day, like in a new way or in a direction, just to ponder for a second. So I'm going to give you that, and then I'm going to talk about the book that I read today, because it's Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor. So every single day I use a spiritual book, and I know what I've learned in about the book in my spiritual journal on a daily basis. We read, don't we? We read, we do our things, but it's the implementation of it. And so I've got one page, they're really scruffy notes. I like, literally, that's my journal entry for the day. So I'm going to give you that because I think it's going to help. So let me give you the quote for today. For my spiritual journal, this is a blank journal. I have a lined one as well. So I use the blank one just to do the process, and the lined one to do notes for anything that I've captured up, my ahas and my downloads. So today's, again, Environmental Freedom Thursday, one of the 7 freedoms. And for Robin, I don't know if I said it, Robin, for Robin's daily journaling, she uses her spiritual journal to journal through the chakras, which I did say. But today it is heart chakra energy Thursdays. So heart chakra healing on Thursdays. So I just wanted to say that because I don't think I did, but I'll go into the ratings in a second. So today, the quote is, take criticism seriously, but I think Jennifer's on. Hey, love, whoever's on, say hi. How you doing? Hopefully you're having a beautiful day. It is Environmental Freedom Thursdays today. Or like every single week, it's Environmental Freedom Thursday. So the quote for today is, take criticism seriously, but not personally. It is there. If there's truth or merit in the criticism, try learning from it. Otherwise, let it roll right. Let it roll right off you. That's by Hillary Clinton. That quote, and that's the first time that I've actually looked at a quote, and when I saw the author of it, was like, oh, and it was the first time. Don't judge. I don't follow politics or anything like that. I do nothing. And I was just like, Well, you can take people's words, but that's what came to mind. You take people's words, but whose words are they? That is what I thought. Oh, good morning, Jennifer. Hey, love, how you doing? I saw part of your message. It came down on my notifications. Don't know, I don't have them on. But so thank you. I didn't read it, obviously, because I was on the live. Good morning. It is Environmental Freedom Thursday. So what do you say? Would you write that down in your spiritual journal? Just take criticism seriously, but not personally. So do you take criticism well? Hands up. No, I don't. I don't take it well. I was criticized quite a lot, actually. By my mum. I was going to say bye and be really vague. I was like, by my mum. And because I don't know, you know, when people are just kind of different people, but kind of like the same. She's the person that brought me up. I just feel like I think differently to other people. And so, yeah, if I was going to say something, and I've obviously taken some of that on board, and I can be quite critical of others, but not in a nasty way. My intention is good. I'm not saying my mum does it in a nasty way. I think about it more, but it's still a criticism, right? It's not meant as a judgment. It's not meant to be critical, but sometimes it can feel critical, especially when you're hormonal. Just saying. But yeah, so don't take it personally. And that's what I love. Sometimes when people go, my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law used to say that people go for the jugular, like just like want to take you down. And I don't like that. That energy is not nice. But do you take it or do you give it? Like that criticism. I know for me, as the people that I work with, as light workers, as spiritual YouTubers, as soul guided influencers, we've got an opinion on everything. And we say that we don't criticize other people and we say that we don't point the finger, but are we really? Use our spiritual journal on a daily basis to see that. And so my twin flame, I was critical of him. Definitely, but not in a mean way. But it does wear people down. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's not meant to be personal. So if there's truth or merit in it, try and learn from it. And so if I'm going to speak something, I will try and back it up with, I don't mean I go out and I try and criticize, but sometimes when you're giving somebody advice, so the instance in my life right now, I'm going through, I've been sharing, going through the foster care process with my niece, right? And so I've got a massive family, and I had gone through some assessments and stuff. This brings into that environment, like where her children will reside, right? And having a choice of that. And so obviously that's not for no kind of reason whatsoever. That's not how it works, right? But without being super critical of her as a mama and blah, 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 but trying to give some guidance and, you know, some advice. And I'm very tough love, so it can feel really critical. It's not meant like that, but it can feel like that. But if there's some truth in it, the quote says, you know, try and learn from it. And I'm hoping that when we do speak some kind of truth behind the words that we give and the advice that we give, and we are able to receive it as well, that we can learn from it. And otherwise, if there's no truth to it, let it roll right off us. And I was trying to give my niece some guidance yesterday on that, like if things are not factual or correct, you know, then speak on that. Do you know what I mean? And try not to take it so personally. So I just wanted to say that, like writing in your spiritual journal, writing on a daily basis, just using a quote. That's why I open my lap every single day. Take there's a message for me. There's a message for me, and there's a message for you, because I'm sharing it with you. And so hopefully, I mean, some people just give a quote and then that's it. But you know, there's words of wisdom, there's words of guidance. We hear the message, we hear it how we need to hear it when we need to hear it. Robin says, right, we project it out to and towards self. Yeah, that criticism. Especially when we've heard it. So for Environmental Freedom Thursdays, you'll talk about, Robin, as heart chakra healing and the energy of your heart on a Thursday. That, and I'll talk about this in the book. That's why I'm going to talk about the book, just to set the context. your environment, and we know this for the law of attraction, where we're like, I'm going to attract, I'm going to manifest. Okay. Your environment starts here, like what you think, what you feel, what you believe, where you're vibrating, where your emotions are. Your soul is having a human experience. So we're looking at the world through the lens of our soul where possible. So using our spiritual journal on a daily basis to practice doing that and coming from that place of love and freedom and empowerment and knowledge is great. But when we're not, you know, or we've been conditioned, the reason obviously any child goes into foster care or into the system, which is not always a great system. I don't know it inside out. And sometimes it's a beautiful system, right? But the reason behind that is the environment that they're in. However, whatever environment that you're raised in will impact. There's a book that I used to, I'll come to the comments in just a second. There's a book that I was listening to on Environmental Freedom Thursday, and it was What Happened to You. Instead of saying what's wrong with me, instead of my niece even saying what's wrong with me, she hasn't said that, but like anyone saying what's wrong with me, why can't I figure this out? As a light worker, as a spiritual business owner, we want everything to be yesterday, right? We want this journey of being gone faster. Everything that has happened to us, it isn't a question of what is wrong with me. It is what happened to you. What happened to you when you were young? What happened to you as you've grown older? The experiences that you've had, and so that's one of the reasons why people do what they do and remove children or put them back or do the things, being in that environment. And, you know, these are all the things that we're unaware of that happened to us when we were younger. And it helps us to lead the life that we're leading now. And if you're not manifesting the life that you're leading, that you want to lead, use your spiritual journal on a daily basis to actually turn that around. So what you think and what you believe and how you see the world is led by your experiences. It's what's gone on in here. So that's what Robin helps us to do, to pivot up and to be guided by source rather than down into the humanness of all of the experiences, the trauma and the triggers. And that's why I love doing this daily journaling practice, because it helps me be aware of what is going on. It helps me make sense and make meaning of what is going on for me. And so hopefully that helps you. So Jennifer says, LOL, I take it okay. And then sometimes it gets swung around based on what was said. Yeah, you take it okay, and then sometimes it gets swung around. Okay, cool. And you know, I invite you to use your spiritual journal each day just to note that, because sometimes we think that we're taking it okay, but then we have like vengeful thoughts, right? Especially when we're hormonal. Just saying. Jennifer says emotional freedom Thursday, 9 heart chakra energy. Thursdays 8 down from last week, lots of funk that wasn't here last week. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to come to the rating in just a second. I'm going to read the book, because it's like note the book, and then I'm going to come to the rating for today. Jennifer says yes, that's that ancestry line and breaking through with that archaeological 100%. It's yeah, it's all the things, isn't it? It's all the things. So the next part of our spiritual journaling, I use a book, spiritual books, every single day. Like I said, I just bit my tongue. I've just bit my lip. I mean, this book, if you have not heard of this book, it's a beautiful book, and I recommend it. Any books that I recommend, I leave in the playlist if they're on YouTube and in the community, in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers network. In the community where it says about books, there's a book club, and to support all areas of our life, this is a book. It's called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor. Robin says, I literally saw this. Was it a hammer when I read your comment, Jennifer? You literally saw, what did you say? Oh, the digging, the archaeology. Okay, the digging, like earth. Oh, thank you. The image, I'm like, what is that? Like a hammer? Like what? What? archaeology, digging away. So this is part of this. That's why I'm doing this before the rating, but I will come back to your rating. Let me just pull back up here so I remember. So change your paradigm, change your life. So basically what Bob Proctor is saying, the late Bob Proctor, is your paradigm, the thoughts, the ideas that you have, the beliefs that you have around about the world, about yourself, about others, about your experience, is based on a paradigm, is based on conditioning. And often that paradigm that you're operating your life in from is not even yours. That what happened to you, that your subconscious mind, you know of all the things that when you're younger, you're absorbing all the things and they're going through, filtering into your subconscious. And the subconscious mind is running like 80-90% of the show. In our conscious mind, we're thinking that we're consciously doing all the things, and it's like, not really. So he talked about repetition being one of the things, and I love this because it's relevant to now. So he says that what he did, one of the practices that he did, was write down what he wanted to experience, right? And he'd write it down 3 times every single day. Listen to this for about a year, right? And then he would record it, and then he would send the recording to his accountability body, which is actually his joint vision partner, Sandy Gallagher. So they did that for a year on a project, what they wanted to experience in their business and obviously in their life. And then sometimes he said, you know, do it for 14 months. Can you imagine this is this process, writing down, coming back, the repetition of what it is that you want to experience, writing it down 3 times, then him speaking it, right? So I do my journaling and I speak it. I call it soul speaking into existence, being on the same vibrational frequency. So then he says, he just wrote it over and over and over again. Do you see how Bob Proctor, do you know Bob Proctor? Have you heard his name? And if you don't know his work, he was in The Secret movie, like massive. He's impacted millions of people. And I haven't heard anyone say anything really awful about him, obviously the late Bob Proctor. But he says that's how he got on the same frequency of, 1, his idea, and 2, his joint vision partner, his business partner. I love that. Robin and I speak every day. We write down. Robin writes down in her journaling practice. And listen to this. And he says that you create the world that you want to live in. You create the world that you want to live in. So then when you think, and that's how it goes into the subconscious mind. So when you're thinking, oh, I'm using my daily journal and it's not really working, it is working. You just don't know how long the idea is. He says it has to manifest in physical form. That's the law, right? And so he says what you're doing when you're writing, you create an image, right? You're creating an image in your mind. I'm looking down because I've got notes. You're creating an image in your mind. And your subconscious, you're painting the picture in your mind, and it's bringing that into your awareness. And he said the more he wrote it down, the more that he'd have that into awareness for his business. So that's what we're talking about. Environmental freedom starts with you in your spiritual business, in your light work and your lifestyle. To have that success, it starts with you. It starts within your mind, but you doing the work to impress upon your mind something completely different. So when we're doing our rating, right, on a daily basis, what vibrational frequency we're on, it depends on what you're saying to yourself and what you're writing down, and you're actually doing the work and following through to change that. We're not being at the low vibration of victimhood and fearlessness and powerlessness. That's when our vibration lowers. So I love this. So let me keep going and I'll come back to our rating. So it is with session 2 of the book, and let me know if you've heard the book and I'll come to your comments in a second. So he says that Van Gogh was once asked, how does he do such beautiful paintings? And I thought of you, Jennifer, and I thought of my soul sister who was messaging me before I came on the live. And she gets in touch every now and again. And she's an artist. She does art and stuff and healing and all the things. And she was messaging me and she said she's going to focus on her art and stuff. And she learned from me. And this lady, a big massive shout out to you, Kem. If Kem hadn't come into my world at the time that she did, this wouldn't look and feel the way that it does. And I know I've mentioned that before, but if you haven't heard, oh gosh, I just missed a call. Am I here? Robin, can you let me know if I'm here? I've just got a call that I'm actually I'm excited to take, I think. Oh, maybe I'm not right excited to take. Hang on. Robin says, be right back. Jennifer, am I here? Jennifer says, yes, that's rewiring the brain. Yes, I've heard of him. Yeah, it's helped a lot of people. Jennifer says, breaking the old programming, adding to a new program. Am I back? Yeah, I'm back. Thank you, love. Jennifer says, it rang. LOL, I just had an old photo pop in my mind, pictures about selling art. Ah, really? Yeah, she's an artist and she's going into that. And so she said, she writes real long messages, really super long messages, but they're beautiful. I'm like, how do you write some? She's always done that. I talk so much, but she writes like loads of pages. And I'd reached out to her, obviously, because my environment, I'm coming. Oh, you're back, love. Oh, thank you, love. So Ken, this project was built on the 444s, right? And I posted this on my Facebook on the 3rd of June. It's now about, I don't know, is it 7th or something? And she says she thinks about me when she sees the 444, and she was one of the fours when I had this idea 2 years ago. One of the people, she was doing tapping with the 7 freedoms. The 7 freedoms didn't look like this, right? She was doing tapping, and I was saying about the bank 50k in 50 days, etc. And she's gone on this journey, and she's like, her spiritual awakening journey, I said, my spiritual awakening journey has been like 10 years of the dark decade of the soul. And then it dawned on me, like, for the last 3 years has been my spiritual ascension, going through developing the 7 freedoms for myself. And then you alchemize it and you give it back to others, right? And so I've given it back in the ways, but really giving it back the way that I feel called to. And she said the business model that she wants to create is absolutely in alignment. And when she got to the end of my 5-day challenge, my YouTube challenge, she said, how are you doing that? I want to do that. If she hadn't have said that, I wouldn't be teaching it. I wouldn't be teaching YouTube, because that wasn't what I was teaching. It wasn't like, yeah, it was my challenge. And so she always thinks of me, and she said, how you show up as a fierce warrior, badass, blah, 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 all the things. Like, she says so many beautiful things. Really beautiful. It always inspires her. She said, I was thinking of you. And when she thinks of me, I've thought of her, and we come together in whatever environment. And so she was saying, I said, you know, when you're ready, I'm here. And I wanted to build that business. And she said, what you told me back then, I'm just now hearing even more, but it was in my subconscious. It was planted, that seed, that she wants to do the things. And she's the one that said, I can see the Soul Legacy TV, like helping other TVs, other YouTube channels. And I was like, oh, okay. And she really was an instrumental part of my life. And we came together at a time that influenced our subconscious. And the point being that when I wrote it down, she's wrote her things down. She said she found the notes from back then, like 2 years ago, when I first did the YouTube challenge, and now it's the book, and now it's the self-study. Now you can go into it. It wasn't a self-study, it was a Facebook challenge. It was all the things. It wasn't all the things that it is now. And she found notes, and it planted in her subconscious mind. It has to manifest. Even your ideas have to manifest, even when you think that it should have been yesterday. Do you get what I mean? Like, she's going on this journey, and I said to her, I realized that my dark night of the soul was 10 years. Now this is like this 3 years, and now that this is the alchemy. And that's what I want to show you. That's what I'm here for, to show you. Yes, your spiritual awakening. Journal on that on a daily basis. Use your spiritual journal, but also use your journal for the spiritual ascension, to create that image in your mind. It has to manifest. That spiritual alchemy is about giving back, and that's where she's got to go. And I'm like, I'm here for the next 7 years. The environment that I'm creating, I said to her, like, all I have to do is get my assistant to schedule out the stuff, and I just show up. Like, she's like, wow, that is what you said. And I was like, absolutely. But it's come in a way of failure. It's come in a way of what people might want to criticize. It's come in so many different ways, but I knew that it was coming, and that repetition, being on that the same frequency. Van Gogh painting an image in his mind. He says, how did you create such beautiful paintings? I first dreamed the dream, and then I painted my dream. So first I dreamt my dream, and then I took action. So Van Gogh was dreaming his dream, but it was in his mind. Then he painted what was in his mind. He created in his mind, and then he created externally, internally, then externally, not externally, then internally. So when we do the spiritual vision board challenge, for millionaires, right? It's about painting the picture of the 7 freedoms, painting the picture of what you want your lifestyle and light work to look like on my spiritual vision board in that challenge, and then writing it down and actually taking that soul guided action. I'm like, oh, wow. So as an artist, I know that you'll be painting pictures and images, Jennifer, and so will Kem. And I instantly thought of you when I thought of Kem. I thought, well, it's 2 people that probably should get together. I don't know. But when she's ready to build her YouTube channel, and I'm sure that you will probably meet. But I just wanted to share that because it's a law, right? Create your vision. So I have my vision board challenge. It's a 7-day vision board challenge. And the vision, I had that vision of making $1 million in my business, $1 million idea. And what was my $1 million idea? It was birthed in so many different ways, but it was birthed in the dark. And I shed light on it and brought it to, and I'm bringing it to you. And so when we rate our frequency, we want to see how in vibrational match we are to that vision. It's not about the world pushing and pulling us, because we impress on our subconscious mind through our daily journaling practice what it is that we want to experience. We're reprogramming our mind, not letting the external world reprogram our mind, and not letting that external world push and pull us and be the thing that manifests in our life. Because when we're focusing on the external all of the time, that is what is manifesting more of. And that is why we're here using the spiritual journal. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Now I'm going to go back up to the ring. In this part of the journaling process, I will share with you the energy and the frequency of it. So Jennifer says, I agree with her. You're great at pumping up and implementing what you say. Yeah, and actually somebody else, one of our soul brothers, messaged me, so he bought the course as well, the 5-day challenge, quite early on, and he hasn't implemented it. And he just said, you know, I've watched you, and he said, I'm watching your videos, like, and I'm watching them come up, not watching all of them in detail, but he said he was awake in the middle of the night, again, environmental freedom, being online, like literally like birthing. And he's in the States, and he said, you know, he was up at whatever time in the morning, and he saw my video. He said, I wasn't necessarily even listening to what you said. He said, I could just see the smile on your face, and how you radiate, and your energy, and just the process of you following through and being heart-led, and how Robin's heart-led, and it's, you know, heart chakra healing, or heart chakra and heart chakra energy Thursdays, right? He said he feels that, and he was there in quite the early days, and he's seen Robin evolve and seen me evolve and see me stay true. He's like, I salute you, my soul sister. He's a beautiful soul. Like, he's got such a gentle voice. He was actually on, Robin, was he on my birthday? I think he was on my birthday. He was on your birthday. So it's almost a year ago that, well, it's over a year ago, so that we connected, but he was on my birthday Zoom, and we've got to arrange ours, Robin, because I don't even know the date. And yeah, and he said all these beautiful things, and I'm like, oh, wow, you know, I do what I do because I do what I do because I'm just being me. But when it feels aligned, and you're in environments, and you're there ready for people to see and ready for people to find you doing what you're doing, if you've got a vision to really make a difference in the world, keep on using your journal, your spiritual journal, on a daily basis, and it has to manifest. That's like, we know that, right? But we get pushed and pulled, and we get down on ourselves, and we don't believe it. You know, we don't believe it's going to happen, and we believe, you know, it's not happening fast enough for us, and really it's happening in divine time. And we're picking up the tools, otherwise we miss things. And so the beautiful words that he said, I'm like, oh wow. When he's like, I see you, I just, so many things, and so many beautiful things about Robin and our journey, and just, you know, the influence that I've had on Robin. And again, that is that soul client income, soul family influence, and soul tribe impact, and that's what I stand for. So thank you so much, Jennifer. I really appreciate that. And it's been, I think I've known Ken, so it was 2 years ago that we'd done that. I think I'd known Ken before that, maybe 2.5 years, but we're still in touch. If I reach out to, if I'm thinking of her, I message her and I go, are you thinking of me? Like, what's up? Are you good? Like always. And she's like, oh my gosh, da, da, da. Yeah. And she comes out with lots of stuff. She's beautiful. She's really, really, really beautiful. Jennifer says the universe will give it. Actually, I want to say as well and acknowledge this, because Ken bounced out of my world for a bit. And I was like, wow. And not in a nice way either. It was quite in an abrupt way. And I was like, I was horrified. And I was with my twin flame then, and I said, what? Like, and he knew, he's seen all the relationships I've had. And this has happened to me quite a few times. And I'm just like, oh, she bounced out of my world, and she came back in it and apologized for bouncing out of my world in that way. But like, it just is. And said she wasn't ready to receive my love. She wasn't ready to receive my love. So that's like that heart chakra, when your heart is open. But she said, you know, you've been through what you've been through, and you're modeling that, getting up, and when you hit a hole, go down a hole, there's no part of you is like, I'm going down that hole and staying there. It's like that badass ready to come out. So, you know, by just being yourself and journaling yourself through the process, it matters. Jennifer says the universe will give you something greater than you could expect when it's perfect time. That's why you don't get it. Yeah, exactly. When you think, and not necessarily the same thing, yeah, it's always fantastic. Yeah, exactly that. Love to meet her. Yeah, Kem. Yeah, she's cool. I'll put you guys in touch. When she's ready to come out, she's doing her art and stuff. That's where she wants to focus. So I'll message her. I do have a pen. I'll message her. Remind me to message her. And just see if she's open to that, because she's just such a beautiful soul. And I love what you say. And there's many people that say that, but then not live that, not live in that. And I mean every single day on the Soul Legacy TV. So it's Environmental Freedom Thursday. We want to bring the environment up to Contribution Freedom Monday. The environment for our health, our body, the environment, our emotions, what's going on in our environment internally, like in our world, in our immediate environment. How is that, like, emotionally, how our environment globally, universally, you know, just connected to the universe, like for our relationships, just all of the environment, our environment for our spirituality. Like, I haven't lit my incense today, and I miss it. Our environment, our spirit, what we have in our environment, what fuels our energy, what drains our energy, our environment for our money, our finances. Like Robin talks on the 5-day money blocks clearing challenge. Like, excuse me, when we allow that money to be given and received, that balance of the environments, that's going to depend on the environment that we're working in, the environment that we're living in. Like, just, it's massive. Environmental freedom is huge. It's really, really, really huge, especially how we contribute and how we have our finances. And it's been a really long journey for me to sit here and follow through. I accepted my mission and I'm following through. Sometimes, like the Spiritual Businesswoman Network, it's like, yeah, this is lit. It's like, that's not the thing. But because I didn't want to be in that environment, and I didn't want to be drawn and sitting in an environment where people didn't want to show up, they didn't want to be visible, didn't want to move through the money blocks, didn't want to own a business. That's not the best place to build my business. It's just not. And I was like, now I would be doing you a disservice if I stay in that space and I allow you to stay in that space by encouraging it, by facilitating a space. And I'm like, I'm done. Like, and so that's what people say. They're like, oh, wow, like, I admire you doing that. I have to be in environments that actually fuel me And so, yeah, I've got something even better. So thank you, Jennifer. That was a lot, right? Let's do the rating. 40 minutes in. Let's do the rating. My rating for today for environmental freedom Thursday is 11. Have I got it? 11. I feel an 11. And for heart chakra, energy is an 11. My heart is open. Like I haven't closed my heart. So what is your rating? So Jennifer, you said that your rating was, so Robin, is yours up, down, or the same as last week, love? And do you know what I'm doing? I'm like trying to scroll and it's stuck. Hang on. And Jennifer, your rating is, so if you're watching on the replay, do your rating. I'll share with you how to do your rating in your spiritual journal. On a daily basis, we use our spiritual journal to rate our frequency, to rate how high vibe we feel, how low vibe we feel, how in soul funk we feel, how in soul flow we feel, as Robin says, in the gunk. I don't know what your other word is, but yeah. Without blame, shame, and guilt, and Robin says, and I say with ease, grace, and flow, you're just checking in whether you're feeling funky or clogged in your energy field. Jennifer says 9 for environmental freedom Thursday. Basically, your environment, your immediate environment, your work environment. I was starting to delete Facebook friends on there. That makes me feel really good. And my emails and things like that makes me feel really good. So just clearing is beautiful. And heart chakra is heart chakra energy Thursdays is down an 8. So they're both down from last week because you've got funk that wasn't there. Excuse me. And that's exactly that. Like, can we vibe high? No, not completely high, but can we vibrate higher when stuff is going on? That's the challenge. That's the kicker. That's what we're here to learn, I believe, as we use our own tools. And so there's funk and there's gunk. And when we get clear on what the funk and gunk is and why we're being sucked into it, what's triggering us, what trauma, what thoughts, what beliefs, and Robin helps us do that, helps us change and shift our beliefs. Like, what is going on? What am I thinking and feeling about the situation? What had happened to me in my environment as a child, or as I've gone through a particular relationship, or whatever it is that is still here, that I'm still carrying the weight of. So Robin helps us to do that, and I love that. I love you for that, Robin. So Robin, so as anyone's gone up, yours has gone down, Jennifer. Robin, has yours gone up? Has it stayed the same? That'd be really interesting. And let me look back. So using our spiritual journal on a daily basis means that we get to check and see how we're feeling. Like, I get to look back at Environmental Freedom Thursday last week and see, oh, actually, yeah, I'm good. It was the same as last week. So I've done things even more so for my immediate environment, like in my home. Kept on top of the washing. I haven't put it all away. There's some over there. I'm always looking over there. But I've cleaned the environment. I've mopped. I've done under the sofa. Like, what I set the intention to do this week, I've done. Done the windows. I don't know if I've done all of them. Done most of the windows. I've probably got my office, like external and internal windows. Like, I like to keep a really nice and clean home. It helps me with my energy, like clearing. And so I had the idea that I might have a visit, and that might by a phone call that I'm having a visit or that I'm not. So I'm like, ooh, with that. So my environmental freedom has stayed the same. I'm high vibe in the sense of I'm choosing where to work, how to serve. Oh gosh, did you actually hear that? That's, yeah. That's insane. The energy. I'm choosing where to work. Fluttering fingers, that's how I feel. Choosing where to work, choosing where to focus, choosing who to have in my environment, and clearing out my environment. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling in alignment and on track with the vision that I have, basically, is why that helps. Like, I've made these decisions and choices to be in alignment with the lens of my soul. Hang on, I'm just going to scroll down. So Robin says emotional freedom, environmental freedom is the same. Heart chakra energy dipped from last week. So obviously we're doing our spiritual journal on a daily basis, and you'll know what's going on for you. Just make a note of that. I invite you to make a note of that in your journal, what it was. What it was, and Robin, I think that you'll probably pick this up for your energy healing lifestyle today, because you'll be journaling. I know that you'll have already journaled on that anyway as part of your process, which I love. Like you said, you know, how our systems and our journaling and this whole journaling process works together. And so just to pick on that, and so to direct you to Robin's channel if you are feeling that way, especially the heart, because that's that pivotal point that just, Robin will explain it. But if it's dipped from last week, your vibration, whatever it is, wherever it is, then noting, this is what came to mind, is what made it dip. Yeah, I say that. But what words made it dip? What thoughts made it dip? What actions? Like what happened to you? And so, to use Oprah's words in Oprah's book that she co-authored, what happened to you? And so, do we have any thoughts and feelings around that are residual, that are not actually serving us? And what action did we take? What was our soul's intention for the lesson behind that? Did we get the lesson? Are we going to be repeating the cycle over and over again? So I invite you to write that down in your spiritual journal, in your daily spiritual journal, with me and with Robin. Carry over anything that comes up, like, okay, that's heart chakra, like that's my heart, that's on a Thursday. Robin will help you and journal us through the process. So thank you, Robin. Any dips for any of the 7 freedoms, if it goes higher or lower, ask, you know, in your spiritual journal, ask yourself really powerful questions on a daily basis. What happened to me? What happened to you between last Thursday and this Thursday for your heart to feel less open, for that vibrational frequency to feel less aligned? So 1 for me is soul funk, 11 is soul flow, and by soul flow, and I'm always, it's just it's like that. It's just like I don't know, that's how I feel it. My soul guidance, my higher self, source. Robin says, looking at the world through I feel big energy, really big energy then. Wow, you know when you bounce your own aura, whatever that is, like I could bounce my own energy field then. I felt that. You know when you do the hands for your energy and you can feel it? That's what I felt, but I've never felt that before. Robin says, viewing the world through the source, eyes of source. So you're viewing the world, and I say you're looking through the lens of your soul. So I have Erlen lenses. I have Erlen and dyslexia. So I remember people saying rose tinted glasses, right? The lenses, like if you have a view of the world is all rose, whatever it is, whatever lens you see the world through, and looking at the world, people say that your eyes are the window to your soul. And so it's looking from that space. It's beautiful, and not being so pushed and pulled. So Jennifer says, yes, knowing and noticing things pushing and pulling my environment, seeing there's many other things I do to make others happy stop me from doing my thing. Okay, let me just read that again. Yes, knowing and noticing the things pulling and pushing my environment, seeing there's many other things I do to make others happy stop me from doing my thing. So journal on that today, Jennifer. Journal on that, because no matter how much work I do, or no matter how I say, you know, build a spiritual business, let's do if that's a protection right there, a sabotage will come out and it will knock you off, knock you down, knock you down, knock you down, knock you down, because there's a conflict. And so part of us doing our vision board, especially on our environment, all of the 7 freedoms, is having that light work and lifestyle balance. Family come first. And having a vision of how it works, how it is beneficial to you and all of you and your loved ones, is an alignment with your values. That's why I talk about vision, values, and vibration. I don't bring in values that much on a daily basis because I bring it in on the spiritual vision board. But Robin talks about values as well. And so if that is not in alignment, if your vision, if your actions are not in alignment with your values, or your vision isn't clear, or there's a conflict, like that's going to hurt me or hurt my family, it's going to mean it's going to not support them, then it won't manifest. It just won't. That's how how we're wired to support us. That's why it takes us so long when we don't have that clear vision. There's a conflict, is what I would say. Robin says, thank you. I love you billions and appreciate all you do and how you show up and share with us. Are you talking to Jennifer? Cleaned up my emails yesterday. Did you? Yeah, I was there this morning. I was like, unsubscribe. And I invite people, you know, when you work with me, there's so much to do. It's like, don't have those things be a distraction. What's coming into our environment, what once was in alignment, maybe not now. So we've read the book, haven't done the card. I'm going to do the card, do gratitude, and then do the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge because I want to respect your time. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and doing this daily journal and you know, sharing with me your life. You're sharing with me what comes to mind, and whatever conversation that we have is just what's there, what needs to be there. So I love it. So this card is called Keepers of the Light. It's an oracle deck, sorry, and Keepers of the Light from a guy called Cal Gray. Cal Gray. Why did Cal Gray's name not feel right when I said that? Cal Gray. This is the card that I pulled today for environmental freedom. Robin says, be right back for what I miss. Love you, ladies. I love you, beautiful. You don't always have to come back, you know. I really do appreciate you coming back. But thank you, Robin. So you're at the card piece, Robin. Dun, dun, dun. This is Lord Ganesh, infinite abundance. So thank you, Jennifer, for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. So I woke up this morning and I literally was like, I've been reaching out, right, as I've been clearing up my Facebook. It's like, hey, love, you know, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm clearing it up. And so I've reconnected. And the obstacles feel like they're being removed, to be fair. And it just feels really, really, really aligned. So let me know. And journal, use your spiritual journal to note down the card and note down the message, because I believe that it's for you as well. Jennifer says, I like the spinning wheels. I feel clear next. Sorry, I feel clear next. I'd want to do. I like spinning wheels. Next, I'd want to do the people pleaser, fully floor decor, hold me. People pleaser, fluffy floor decor holds me. And I've been working on this for some time. Thank you, Iona, so much. Love, dear. So are you saying that it's like spinning wheels, like you're doing so many different things in your vision, like in your responsibilities in your day-to-day, like you're spinning so many wheels? It's like, how on earth? So excuse me, in day 4 in planning in the 5-day YouTube from scratch challenge, the self-study challenge, when you get to day 4, there is something called the intentional living codes. This is this, right? And in the planning of your business, in the planning of your life, that's why I don't just do, oh, let's build a business, let's do YouTube, let's go all in, and let's ignore our family. Like, that is not leaving our legacy the way that we want to. Launching our day, leading our day, and leaving our day. So I invite you to build your life into like literally a schedule. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have like the 7 days in a week. You know what I mean? Like, what we want our life to look and feel like. And in that, I talk about our life expectancy. where we are in the world and the different environments depends on our life expectancy, and not taking life for granted and assuming that we have more time than what is now. And so because I've had so many losses in my life, including my son, I'm like, okay, well, my son didn't get to make it till 20, right? And I say didn't get to make it. He had his own agreement. I understand that. My big brother didn't get to make. He was didn't get to make it to his 36th birthday. When I turned 36, it was like really trippy for me because he was my big brother, like almost 5 years older than me. My dad, and what I realized is my biological father. I was stood in the mirror yesterday. I stood in the mirror and I'm like, I don't know, actually. I still don't know. I didn't work it out. I didn't like go into it deep. And I was like, am I even the age? Am I older than what he was? And I believe I am. My dad, who raised me, was 72. So my father passed when I was 19. And I'm like, am I older than what and like literally that's what I thought. And his birthday is the 26th of May. So it's not that long ago. And I didn't acknowledge it actually. And I don't usually acknowledge it actually. He wasn't there when I was younger. I don't usually acknowledge it. It's the same birthday as one of my brothers. My youngest brother is not his father, but yeah, I just thought of that. So I don't know why I went off on that tangent. Oh yeah. So the planning, basically, we don't know how long we're going to get, basically. So we use our 24 hours in a day intentionally. That's why I say intentional living in alignment with our values, and nobody's going to come and do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. And one of my soul sisters, she was homeschooling her children, and